Hello and welcome. I'd like to start this off by saying today isn't your normal, usual video. It's going to be a little bit different. Today, instead of showing one interesting place, I'm going to show multiple interesting places. Now, I have personally handpicked all of these places, some strange and unusual. We're going to visit them today, and I bought my piping hot caffeinated beverage, and I'm ready to take on the day, and I hope that you guys follow along with me as we visit the strange and unusual side of Columbus, Ohio here. So without further ado, let's go check out some strange places in Columbus, Ohio. I'm here at the Mifflin Cemetery in Gehenna, Ohio, just outside of Columbus. Now, one specific individual has brought me here. I saw online that he has a very unique headstone, and I'm here to find it, here to check it out. But before we do, I've never been to this cemetery, so we're gonna take a look around and see what other kind of headstones, some interesting things around the cemetery that we can find before we find this individual. Let's check out the Mifflin Cemetery. So where we actually need to be is on the other side of the road. There's a little parking area off to the right. We're gonna head over that way in just a minute. But for now, welcome to the Mifflin Cemetery. I like how this one is shaped. The Albright family, the top of it says they live together in happiness, they rest together in peace. He was a veteran, Air Force, World War II. Wow. We have a headstone here for the Ohio State Buckeyes, OH. This is really neat. This is a rather larger headstone here of the Lambert family, and it's got their photo right there in the center. That's beautiful. I really like that. As I'm walking around the cemetery here, I noticed one that has really caught my eye. Check this one out. Stephanie Wallace, April 26, 1981 to June 26, 1999. To live in one's heart is not to die. Wow, that's really nice. This one here also too caught my eye. Bradley B. Bethel, loving son, brother, grandson, uncle, and friend. And it looks like there are some photos of him on the top there, snowboarding and working construction. This guy had some very interesting hobbies. It looks like motorcycle. He played music. Very cool. Okay, so we're now gonna walk across the street. I'm gonna show you what we came here for. This individual absolutely loved his beverages, his soda pops. And it's one of my favorite drinks, not the specific kind. That's, you'll see when we get there. It's just really, it's different, it's unusual, and that's what I like about doing these kind of things, is you never know what you're gonna come across. This road right here is Old Ridenhour Road. I parked just over there. We're gonna walk across the street. You can take the sidewalk to get in where we're going as well, but I'm gonna cut through the side right here, because who we're looking for, he's pretty close to the road. He's kind of closer towards this side. We're gonna walk through here a little bit. Alrighty, let's see if we can find this individual. Up, I can see his headstone from here. This is cool. Rather busy day here in Gehenna. You can hear the planes in the background because we're not too far from the airport. But right here is the individual that we are looking for. Jeffrey Allen Boff. He has a Diet Pepsi can on his headstone right here. November 3rd, 1958 to February 10th, 2009. I've seen a lot of headstones and been to quite a few cemeteries, but I have never seen a Diet Pepsi can. I used to drink Pepsi quite often, and it's still one of my mom's favorite drinks, but I have never seen a Pepsi can on a headstone, let alone any kind of soda. This is really, really cool. So aside from having a Diet Pepsi can on his headstone, there really is no significance to the specific individual, other than he was just a normal guy and had a normal life. He's not famous, it's not a famous grave, and I come here to pay my respects because I am a lover of Pepsi myself. Not so much as Diet Pepsi, but regular Pepsi. It's amazing. Like I said, he's just a normal individual here that lived and died in Ohio. That the can looks like it's tipping over, spilling into the grave. You can kind of see the little drip marks right here. So even in the afterlife, Mr. Jeffrey Allen Boff is enjoying his Diet Pepsi. Rest in peace, buddy. Enjoy your Pepsi. So this next little interesting place, I may or may not get a little emotional because I'm visiting for the first time ever in my life, visiting an actual pet cemetery. Now, it is rather close to the airport. It's legit right behind me. There's not a lot of planes coming in and out right now, thankfully, so it might get a little loud. I'm not sure. But we're gonna check out some headstones here at this pet cemetery because I heard some are pop culture related. So we're gonna see if we can find them. Let's do it. As you can see, right there is one of the planes, and it's legit right across the road from the airport. Now there's not really any specific reason as to why I'm here. It's just really strange and unusual. I've never been to a pet cemetery, but I do have some information about the cemetery here that I can share. A little bit about the history. Let's see. The cemetery was started in the 1920s by Walter Brown, a local veterinarian, and a cemetery association was founded in 1934. There were over 450 burials here on site. All of this is a visual testament to the purity of the human-animal bond. Most markers bear the names of not only the pets themselves, but also of their human parents. Really cool. So, some pet names over the decades show their cultural and historical influences. Dimples, Trixie, and Buster in the 20s and 30s give way to Lassie and Gidget in the 50s, and eventually become Coco and Misty in the 70s and 80s. But pet owners have clearly always been common and creative in naming their animal companions. For every Blackie or Fluffy that rests here, there's a Boob and a Stinky Bill and a Dammit, each of them memorialized and apparently cherished. It's also hard to tell how active the cemetery is. The articles of incorporation for the Cemetery Association expired in 1997 when most burials seem to have stopped. However, during the most recent excursion through the grounds, there were several graves marked with artificial flowers, as well as a memorial for Mr. King, a 10-year-old cat with a love of shoes, who was interred this past June. And I found an article on Google that was back in 2019. So between 2018 and 2019 could have been the most recent burial here. We have a Blackie here. Kind of reminds me of my stepdad before he passed away. I have an all black kitty, and he always used to call her Blackie or Midnight. This one's name was Puddles, 1944 to 1952. Caesar Ewing, 1941 to 1953. Duchess Jenkins, December 31st, 1948 to June 2nd, 1960. We have a Schnapsy here, 1940 to 1951. Our pal Trooper. And what's really sad about this is that people come out here and they vandalize. That is honestly very sad. What kind of people are gonna come out here and vandalize not only a cemetery, but a pet cemetery at that? As you can see, some of these have been knocked over down here. Like, it's just very sad. In memory of Tuffy, 1939 to 1950. Prince Carl, 1939 to 1950. Ladybug, 1940 to 1941. Wow. This one's got a little dog in the picture of it. Chummy, 1929 to 1941. Right here we have a Spot, 1930 to 1941. Our little Dusty died 1941. Our beloved Kitty, 1932 to 1941. This little one's name was Toodles, 1927 to 1940. Our little dog was buried with care, and even if there's a dog heaven, Toodles is there. Aww. So, walking around here, excuse my language, but this really pisses me off. Like, the farther back I go, the more older the cemetery gets. The more older the headstones get. Some of the newer ones are towards the beginning, and all I see is like destroyed headstones, knocked over. This is absolutely ridiculous. These ones are pretty cool. This one's name is King, English Collie. Gone but not forgotten. Babyface Frey. I like those names. Going towards the back of the cemetery here, there are headstones along the fence line here. That one's name is Ming, Sheridan, Buck, Nellie, Tanya. Oh, there's a plane taking off. Let's see. Jerry, Tatters, Rags. Let's walk this way. Patsy, Mitzi, Trubby. Aw, this is making me really sad. Donnie. You check out this side of the cemetery. That one's name's Dino, Duke, Betty, Laddie, Pepsi. There's a Googles here. The 1920s, they were still talking about Google, but in the form of a pet. Googles. Let's see, we got Betty, the family of Sapel, Kessler, Buster, Bonnie, and Buddy. Walk around over here for a few minutes. Snooky, Cricket, Bonnie Lee, Betty Lou, of Mr. and Mrs. E. Thornburg. Wow. Spotty, Hadji, Buff, Teddy. There's one back there that says Bob. Another Teddy here. Man, these headstones are really old. Dating back to the 1920s, 1930s. Let's check over here. Prince, Tiny Bass, Ping Pong, Ting Toy, Dash, Conley, Trixie, Wong, Midge, Jip, Hill, Duke. A lot of Dukes around here. Mickey, Scrappy, Buddy. This one looks pretty recent. Bear, found but not forgotten. Rest in peace. Unsure of the birth date, but passed away of 2023. As I'm walking around the front, making my way back towards the car, I noticed that there's not an actual brown cemetery sign telling people what this place is. Most people probably think it's just a normal cemetery, but I would assume that one of the signs, had they had them, would have been somewhere on one of these poles. It's pretty old looking poles that I know people come out here and vandalize and they steal stuff. But I've been looking for a sign for this place and I haven't found one yet. I don't think that there's one here. Oh, look at this one I came across. Mr. King, look how fluffy he is. Oh, that's adorable. July 31st, 2009 until June 9th, 2019. And it says, "Don't start your journey with Jesus without me. Wait by my shoes." This one here is probably inspired by the movie, but this one says Lassie, 1948 to 1957. We got Peachy over there, Gypsy right here. We have a Fuzzy, a Prince. Now this area is a little bit closer up towards the road. Let's check these ones out. This one is a Buttons. Aw. Back there we have another Duke. Oh, this one's cool. Check this out. Biff. Way before Back to the Future, but I like it. One is a Princess. Flicker. We have a Doc. Queenie. Our little girl, Patsy. Aww. My pal, Tommy. Cricky. Becky. Corky. Robin. Our baby Gretchen. Oh, there's another Blackie one. Man, this is crazy. Holly, Falco. We have a Tinker right here. I do truly hope that all the doggies, the kitties, and all the other little pets buried here are at ease. They're at peace. No more suffering. And they've crossed the Rainbow Bridge. So being here actually does make me incredibly sad because I have two kitties at home. One, she's extra floofy. Her name is Littles. And then I have another kitty. Her name is Minnie. She's all black, but I call her Min-Mins. And she's going on 3 years old. And Littles, she is probably about 7, 8, 9-ish. But I spend all the time I can with them, playing with them and stuff. And unfortunately, throughout life, things happen. And I've had previous pets before, and they've crossed the Rainbow Bridge, if you will. And they've either been cremated or we've had to bury them. And the last couple we have buried out at my uncle's house. He lives out outside of town has a big open yard, and we put them at rest back towards the fence line, so we always know that they're there and still with the family. But yeah, this is crazy for being the first time at a real pet cemetery, unlike the movie, of course. But it's crazy that the airport is right across the road. But anyway, is what it is. So let's go check out the next creepy, strange location here in Columbus. So let me ask you, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word Ohio? Is it our sports teams such as Cleveland or Cincinnati, or closer to where I'm at right now, the Ohio State Buckeyes for football? Is it entertainment? It could be Playhouse Square in Cleveland for you. Is it the weather here in Ohio? Because you wait 5 minutes and it'll change. Or could it be the agriculture? With that being said, I'm at a very strange and unusual place here in Dublin. Some might call it amazing. And I've been known to crack a few corny jokes from time to time, but I don't think I can top this. Check out where I'm at. So I'm on the corner of Rings Road and France Road. Check this out. Giant field of corn. It's Ohio. I'm not going to ask questions because I'm clearly not surprised as an Ohio native. There are exactly 109 of these corn hinges here, whatever. And the history behind it is actually really interesting. So I stand close to 6 feet, give or take a couple inches. That's what she said. But these things stand well over 6 feet. We're going to check out these things up close and personal and tell you a little bit about the strange history as to why these things are here. Okay, let's check them out. So I was reading online about the history of this place. One thing that really stood out to me that I really like, that the designer of this, how they made, see how they're all in a row? Their inspiration for designing this place came from Arlington Cemetery. We all know what Arlington is, right? The famous cemetery where all the heroes from all the previous wars that the US has been in. Well, you know how all of the headstones there are kind of like in a row? They drew their inspiration from this. How cool is that? Just off to the side here, they have these little plaques that discuss the history of the agriculture and history of these corn statues here. There's also a little bench area where you can sit and just relax. Oh, what's this say? Field of corn with Osage orange trees. Malcolm Cochran. Field of corn with Osage orange trees includes 109 human-sized ears of corn that stand upright in realistic row patterns. The installation symbolizes the history of our community's farming legacy and serves as a memorial to rural landscapes. Cochran of Columbus, Ohio, also intends the artwork to be playful, like a roadside attraction, inspiring awe and humor. The artwork invites us to think about where we came from and where we are heading, while maintaining a sense of joy in the present. Commissioned in 1994. Huh. So these have been here since 1994. Even though I live 45 minutes from Columbus, never really knew these were here. It sits off one of the main roads here. And this one here just kind of talks about, it says, corn has been cultivated in Ohio for approximately 1,800 years. It was known to the prehistoric Native American Hopewell peoples AD 100 to 500 and was grown in large quantities by the later Fort Ancient Indians. Oh wow, so these go Corn goes way back. That's pretty cool. All right, so I want to show you, I stand about 5'8", 5'9"-ish, and look how I stand next to this thing. It's got a good, probably foot and a half taller than me. Yeah. Oh wow, that's crazy, right? So it's like towards the end of March as a recording of this, and it's pretty cold, and it's actually a little bit colder than I thought it was going to be today. But being here surrounded by corn just gets me excited for the 4th of July. Well, I guess it really doesn't have to be 4th of July to have corn. You can have canned corn, but 4th of July is one of my favorite holidays, and I love me some corn on the cob with my chicken on the grill, hamburgers, hot dogs, getting in the pool, fireworks, you know, the typical American thing to do. So let me know down in the comments what your favorite type of corn is. But definitely looking forward to more corn on the cob this year. Let's go check out the next strange and unusual location here in Columbus. Okay, here I am standing on a stage in Scioto Park in Dublin, Ohio. I'm gonna check out Scioto Park here. There's one interesting reason I came here, is to check out a monument. Very strange, very unusual, dating back to quite some time ago. A specific individual by the name of Chief Leatherlips. There's a monument here dedicated to him. It's the monument of a face, his face in particular, of course. And we're gonna walk around the park here and check it out. I've never been here. This is actually kind of cool. I kind of feel like I'm on the stage in the American Pie movie where he's trying to play the instrument. Because look behind me, there's like little levels there and ledges that you can sit on. But all right, let's check out Scioto Park here. The main entrance to the park here is just on top of the hill, the main road right there. And then there's a river right over there, which we're gonna go check out here momentarily. But for right now, we're gonna walk right up this hill and go check out the Chief Leatherlips Monument. And the story behind it is actually rather interesting. Let's get a closer look. I'm trying to watch where I walk here because they have a bunch of flowers planted down here, but we're gonna take a look at this plaque, both of these actually, see what they say. This one says, Leatherlips, Ralph Helmick. Leatherlips was created by Boston artist Ralph Helmick. The 12-foot high portrait of the indigenous Wyandot chief is made of a composite of native limestone stacked and mortared with an opening at the top. Helmick intended visitors to physically inhabit a vantage point of the leader as a way of imagining his vision for peace between indigenous peoples and white settlers. Local history relates that Chief Leatherlips was executed by fellow tribesmen at a location near Scioto Park. Limestone by Dublin Art and Public Places Commission, 1988, dedicated in 1990. This one's going to be a little bit more interesting to read. Bear with me. Leatherlips, the Dublin Arts Council's first outdoor public sculpture, was dedicated to the city of Dublin on July 1st, 1990. Designed by artist Ralph Helmick, Leatherlips is an 11-foot high limestone portrait of the legendary Wyandot chief. Chief Leatherlips was a good friend to Indian and white man alike. To the Wyandots, Chief Leatherlips was called Shate Yaranya, hopefully I'm saying that right, which means same size as blue. In later years, he was called Sucha Etes. Suchaetes, probably butchering that, which means long gray hair. He was given the nickname Leatherlips by the white settlers in this area. They called him this because of his admirable trait of never breaking a promise. The Dublin Arts Council wishes to thank the Dublin City Council, who supported this project through hotel, motel, bed tax refunds, and the Ohio Arts Council, which granted financial and technical assistance. The Arts Council thanks its corporate sponsors, Ashland Chemical, Savings of America, Chase Bank, Littell Communications, Warner Cable, Wendy's International, and Columbus Southern Power. Thanks also to the City of Dublin's employees who gave generously of their time and expertise. Okay. Whew. Are you still with me? Okay, we're gonna walk up this little path here. They've kind of have a little path and check out this thing up close. Photo opportunity time. We'll get to that in a minute. There's a little bird right there. Wow, this thing is cool. Sign, do not climb on. Do not climb on this thing. I just want to touch it. Touch his nose. Cool. Man, that's crazy. Let's go take a look at the back and take a look at the vantage point previously said as I was reading that. Again, do not climb. Ooh, this is cool. So this is a vantage point. Wow. You can see the river all the way off in the distance there. Little bathrooms off to the side of the park. And then over there to the right is the stage I was just at. Very cool. Okay, so before I came up here, I did a little bit of research on Chief Leatherlips, and I came across something rather interesting. His demise, how he died. It caught me off guard, but listen to this. I'm gonna read something and just listen, it's crazy. In 1810, Leatherlips' brother, Roundhead, interesting name, I know, a fellow Wyandot chief ordered his execution. Leatherlips was condemned to death by other natives for his desire to cooperate with the white settlers. Not only was Leatherlips opposed to Tecumseh's Confederacy against the United States, but he also sold native land to William Henry Harrison. However, it is widely believed that Leatherlips was executed for exaggerated charges of witchcraft to draw attention away from the true political motives. While it is unknown if Roundhead took part in the execution of Leatherlips, he did heed the counsel that called for his death. Dispatched by Roundhead, his brother, 6 Wyandots traveled to what is now Dublin, Ohio, where we're currently at, just north of Columbus, and announced the death sentence. Although white settlers led by John Sells pleaded for the old chief and attempted to bribe the death squad. The trial and sentencing were swift. After clothing himself in his finest attire, Leatherlips, joined by his executioners, sang the death chant and prayed. And then he was killed by a tomahawk. Killed by a tomahawk. That's crazy. The bribe was said to be tearing up the treaty in exchange for the chief's life. That's nuts. So it looks like there's other people coming and going, wanting to get their pictures, and kids and stuff wanting to get their pictures with the Indian head there. But I want to tell you guys that Chief Leatherlips is actually buried 2 miles down the road here. Now this is Riverside Drive behind me. It's a pretty busy road, and they accidentally found Chief Leatherlips' bones when they were digging up. I don't know what they were digging up for. It's a really nice housing area, and maybe they were digging for the foundation to start a new house. But upon digging there, they found the remains of Chief Leatherlips. So, unfortunately, Chief Leatherlips is not here on site in Scioto Park. He is buried 2 miles down the road. Now, where he is at specifically is a really hard spot to get to. It's a T intersection, and he's right on the corner. There's really nowhere to park. There's a housing development, and I can't really park there because people live there. I can't, park where they go and stuff like that. But it sits on the corner of Stratford and Riverside. I'll show a picture of what it looks like, but unfortunately I couldn't get to it. But it is there. You can check it out if you're feeling up to it and you want to accept the challenge and try and get to it. It's pretty difficult to get to, but it is 100% there because I drove there right before I came here. But it is totally there, which sucks because you can't really get to it. But you can come visit the Indian head here, the Chief Leatherlips head. It's pretty cool. And all good things, unfortunately, must come to an end here in Columbus, Ohio. Okay, I think that's gonna do it for the weird and creepy, strange and unusual roadside attractions here in Columbus, Ohio. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a ton of other roadside attractions around Columbus, Ohio. These ones I just kind of picked because they appealed to me. So thank you guys so much for watching today. Let me know down in the comments if you've actually been to some of these locations or if you didn't even know about it. Some of them I knew of, some of them I didn't, but either way, it was fun, it was creepy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you on the next one.